It's kind of the most I've disagreed with Harris ever. I mean, I disagree with Harris a lot, but within like 5 minutes, he said like three things that I thought were like kind of wildly oversimplified.
To be able to have a reasoned conception of the good life, both personally and collectively, that gets beneath these ape-driven, uh, uh, limbic arousal non-arguments, which are.
I'm pretty sure that's not possible. I'm pretty sure that you have emotion below reason. I don't think you can ever get reason truly below emotion. Watch, I'll show you. Sam Harris's root foundational thing is promote well-being for himself and those around him. That's his root reason. But under that, there's an emotion, right? There's an emotion of desiring well-being and abhorring suffering. I mean, surely there is that. Surely, if he did not find well-being bad on an emotional or gut or let's say non-rational level, and he did not find suffering contemptible or well-being good and desiring bad on an emotional level, then surely he probably wouldn't be able to reason his way to it on his own, just with a complete vacuum of all like emotional response data, or the collective emotional response data of all humans who all generally like well-being and dislike suffering. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a Humean point, really, is that there's no such thing. Rationality and reason kind of just connects different convictions and emotions. It's not its own thing. It just kind of describes the relations between various emotions and non-rational positions. And I think that's pretty much true. And if you accept that, then you can't get under emotion with reason. You can just get reason under more layers of emotion, but it's never going to be your absolute foundation. I don't think that's possible. Again, also Hume, also just kind of the is-ought problem. Uh, you can't get an ought from an is, meaning that you can't have is come first, really, and build something on that. That doesn't seem particularly likely to me.
Just uh, which is how all of our moral thinking gets coded psychologically, and that's just is a problem. We get, you can see every conversation about a charged issue leading people to get emotionally hijacked in the midst of the conversation, and then they're not processing arguments anymore. And so we have.
Well, that's true. I think that when you're having a conversation about reason, the emotion should be rooted deep in your values, and then the reason is just meant to connect your fundamental value to your position. And emotion should not get into that anywhere until you work your way far enough to the conversation that you either discover a difference or a mistake in one or your other's logical connection between your value and your policy prescription or your effect. And then if one of you is wrong, then you'll amend. Or you can investigate all the way down to the level of values and emotions, at which point there are no rational arguments anymore, and you just have a fundamental value difference. And at that point, it might be appropriate to get emotional. At that point, actually, that's usually when violence happens, if the distinction is really important. So fair marks to him on that. Until you are sure that it's a value difference and not an understanding difference or a reason logic error, you should try not to be emotional. But that is completely separate from the claim he made earlier. These are not the same thing at all.
To find mechanisms to get around that. And on the final question on just resource allocation, one of these moral emotions that we have, if you imagine a world of real abundance, like a world where we've built the right AI that's just pulling wealth out of the atmosphere, and no one really has to work anymore, right? Because we literally have machines that can build machines that can build machines that are all powered by sunlight that do everything better than we can. Now, why wouldn't that be some kind of utopia? Well, it wouldn't be a utopia because we have these very weird emotions, or many of us do, which tell us, which give us an ethics that make it seem like it would be wrong to spread the wealth around. It would be.
Well, it would also not be a utopia for a Dostoevskian reason, which is that if there was nothing for you to do other than enjoy yourself, you'd go crazy pretty quickly. I know there's like this like broad myth that everybody would just find their meaning being an artist or something. That's probably not true. I mean, maybe it's true. You'd have to try it, but I have a sneaking suspicion that if all you had to do was like eat food, have sex, and then create whatever art you wanted, I'm pretty sure like most people would just go absolutely crazy if that was their life for any extended period of time. So that's one. But he's saying that people have like a moral objection to like this absolute abundance of wealth being shared around. Um, I don't. I don't know who does. I'm not sure who he's talking about.
Right, like most people are living as though they want to live in a world where there's a few trillionaires living in compounds ringed by razor wire, and everyone else is sort of starving to death. It's like a winner-take-all scenario. And so we have to find a new.
That is not the scenario that we have right now. He's saying that people are acting as if they want that. I don't know what he's talking about. As far as like capitalism goes, there's an awful lot of inequality. Yes, that's part of the system. It's also part of nature. Inequality is a natural thing. The thing that capitalism does that no other economic system has been able to do is you harness that type of inequality. You harness the inherent greed that lies within the human heart, and you harness it in such a way that the only way to satisfy that greed, the only way to produce that level of inequality, is in producing things that your fellow man views as valuable. And in this way, we've had a rising tide that lifts all ships, although the tide is incredibly, to a massive extent, uneven, and uneven to the point where it might actually be a problem, because there is a level of inequality that's unstable. It has been the case that standard of living worldwide has been going up consistently at a miraculous rate, historically speaking. So, I don't really know what he's talking about there. Again, I'm not sure who he's referring to, or who he thinks believes this, or is acting as if they believe this. Because you can be a pretty hard-nosed capitalist and not believe that there should be trillionaires and starving people. If everybody was starving but the trillionaires, those people wouldn't be trillionaires because they wouldn't be meeting the demand, and therefore they wouldn't have a way to make money under a free market system. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know who he's talking about.
Ethic whereby people are no longer, their purchase on existence is no longer justified by doing profitable work that other people will pay them for. I mean, we have, in a world of true abundance, you shouldn't have to work to justify your life. You should be free to enjoy the wealth of the world. And if we're going to get to that place, we have to change our ethics around that.
I think we got to produce the super magical like AI that creates the wealth out of nothing. I think we probably have to create that type of magical technology before we change the way we think about things. I mean, if he's saying that our thoughts have been molded by the fact that throughout all of human history you had to work to live, and our psychology reflects that, I suppose that's true. I think the razor wire trillionaires, while literally everyone is starving, is overstating things. But yeah, like, everybody's kind of programmed on some level to assume you need to work to live, because for all of human history, in both the state of nature and in modern economies, that has been true. And I think we probably shouldn't change that mindset until we actually have the means to escape that conundrum. I think you're putting the cart before the horse if you want to change the mindset before you actually fix the eternal conundrum that we found ourselves in. So it's just kind of a weird video. Harris, it's kind of the most I've disagreed with Harris ever. I mean, I disagree with Harris a lot, but within like 5 minutes, he said like 3 things that I thought were like kind of wildly oversimplified or something. I mean, this is kind of an earlier video, an earlier showing from him. But yeah, very interesting. If you guys trust your disgust or don't, or if you think I'm wrong about capitalism or anything else I said this video, let me know down in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Really helps out the channel so you can see more reactions and other videos like these. But until next time, see y'all out there. More like this.